Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this webinar. I assume that you can hear my voice and see my screen. And in this particular webinar, I will share with you tips and tricks, and also the entire workflow of generating exports from SCIA Engineer using Engineering Report and of course also the picture gallery. My name is Vladimír Příbramský, and together with Rob Werks, we will be available for you today. I will be the presenter today through the GoToWebinar application. You are not permitted to ask questions by means of the question box. You are not able to speak in the presentation or in the webinar. And if you should you have any questions or remarks, or even any points of possible improvement to the engineering report or your experience, don't be shy to share this with us. Rob will be answering your questions while I present my presentation. Additionally, the webinar will be recorded and it will be shared on YouTube in a few days times. You will be provided link to this YouTube video, and also be kindly asked to provide us with some feedback regarding this webinar or its topic, and I would be very happy if you would help us improve our webinars and also our software by having a sufficient or number of feedbacks. So this webinar will be, as I mentioned, about Engineering Report and Picture Gallery. And here is the content of the webinar. I will do all the items in this list live in the SCIA Engineer and Engineering Report for you to fully observe the workflow, and I will give tips and tricks throughout the webinar. We will cover picture gallery and types of images and their possible layout, and all the properties or different options that you have to alter the images in the engineering report. Then we will focus on engineering report internal functionality, such as using indented images, setting header and footer, and visual styles, and also working a bit more with images by means of result picture generator. And I will focus, I hope quite thoroughly, on external items in the engineering report, which are essential in order to be able to make complete and thorough structural documentation entirely in the engineering report without the necessity of using Word or a text editor such as Microsoft Word or other. In this matter, I will focus on external images and drawings, external PDFs, and also I will show some advanced tips for using external reports and automatic workflow. So let me just switch to SCIA Engineer, and I've prepared here some simple project based on different materials that you might have. It's basically all combined that you can imagine, of course, in a simplified versions for this webinar, so we don't get stuck by lengthy calculation. And let's get straight to the possibilities of images in SCIA Engineer. We have multiple options. First is that you might use the picture gallery as a tool to store your image. The picture gallery functionality is stored or available under this icon here, and you can see that I already have some pictures here. The advantage is that you have a list of all the images that you can then export or save as either bitmap images or 3D images, or even 3D DVG paintings that can be opened in the AutoCAD or any other CAD program or software that you use. Regarding inputting additional pictures in the picture gallery, it's quite simple. You can just right-click in the 3D scene and send the picture to gallery. You can also save the picture into a file as right away by this command, save picture to file. It basically does the same thing as exporting the images from the picture gallery itself. We also can print picture or on a printer or to move it into the engineering report or copy it to clipboard for any further use. I will get to that options later on. In the picture gallery itself, there are available several options and settings of properties for the pictures that start with its width and scale in corresponding of my resolution. I can also have different options of how difficult or how rendered I want to see my images. The easiest is wired, which are simplified versions, but I can also switch to rendered, and I have overall rendered image. I can change viewpoints or any further parameters that or view parameters that I am able to change or alter right in the 3D scene as well. And also I can change color and line settings for the entities displayed in the image as separately for every picture, so not every picture has to go by the overall settings for the SIA Engineer GUI. I will demonstrate quickly how to work and how to be able to save pictures in files. There are multiple available types. For further notice, is worth to see 3D PDFs. So as mentioned before, not only 2D bitmap pages or images are available, but also support for 3D DXF and DVG format, and also some internal 3D format, which can be then imported back to engineering report. From entirely different project, you can be able to import 3D vector images. I will show you how this works later on. Here I can just write a random name and save it, and I will have the image stored in my folder. So I have it right here. I don't need this particular image, so I will delete it right now. So this is for the images. In general, you can use this on and try on your own. Should you have any feedback on how it behaves, don't hesitate to contact me on the or our support guys on provided email address or through support systems. I will now continue with types of images that can be inserted directly into the engineering report. For that, I will create a new or brand new report, and there are basically 4 or 5 types of images that can be inputted into the engineering report, which has different different properties or different workflow to continue with them. So we have two ways how to send images into the engineering report, or 3 ways. First is by right-clicking into the 3D scene and selected one of these 3 options in the dialog, or selecting the same options by clicking on this icon. So first image that we can store are screenshots. If I click on the screenshot, I can of course, again, set a number of properties, and I can send this picture into the selected engineering report. I will send it to the last one because that's the one that I just created. I'll do the same thing for the live picture in scale into the engineering report. And of course, the third option, which is the live picture. I will now go to the engineering report itself to show you the properties of these pictures. The first picture, which is just snapshot, is and will be always valid item. I can, for example, delete a structure here, and this is only the snapshot of a structure or even results as they were in the precise time when the image was inserted into the engineering report, meaning that no further changes to the report will be available in this picture. The only thing that you can do with it is, as it is indeed a vector 3D image, you can play with the view. You can zoom in or out, and the image will behave correspondingly. So this is the behavior of the snapshot picture. This is as default, I would not recommend using this one because I believe usually or most commonly you want to see the images to change when the model is changed by, let's say, deleting or recalculating the project. The second time is picture in scale and default live picture. These are images that have a wide amount of possibilities of their alteration. First, of course, it's for both or for all three types is the same. You can, by double clicking, you can change the view and hit OK, and the view of the image will be changed. You have further options here by the editor of image, so you can change view parameters, also viewpoint as demonstrated before, and in case that this is the result picture, you can also change the type of results that is being displayed or the value that you can display. Let me quickly demonstrate such possibilities. Let me just make here for named selection 3D displacement drawing, or different way. I can here make current selection. I can see that only for few entities it was changed. I can insert this image into the engineering report, and here in the editor, or if I go to edit picture properties, I also can change here results. For example, from current selection, I can go to named selection, and the picture will regenerate itself with the changed setting. The same would apply for the picture in scale. The only difference here is that we have the scale factor here, which behaves differently, because this would actually be the possibility of basically zooming in the picture. So by changing the scale from, let's say, 300 to 100, I get 3 times the zoom. In this case, this is also available. This is not available directly, but I can make, if wanted, the exact same view by simply navigating in the 3D scene of the picture. So these are 3 types of pictures. For the most common use, I would say that the live picture in engineering report is the one that you should use in order to have up-to-date and dynamically updated results in your engineering report. I mentioned that there are 4 or 5 types of pictures, and the other one is that we actually are able to insert pictures that we have stored in gallery. So in this case, in this ESA file, I have 2 pictures in the gallery, and I can insert them here as well. What you can notice here is that these pictures will be inserted in their set size that is set right in the picture gallery, and they will not be stretched to the size of the page. This is why I would rarely recommend using this one. Yet the possibility is here, and if you have the image size corresponding to what you want to see in the picture gallery, you can use this tool as well. So this is for internal images in the engineering report, and I will continue with the external images and using the automatic result generator in the engineering report. So for external images, we have in the available items for engineering report, we have this external items submenu, and in this case I want to use the external picture, so I can indent it by either double click on the item or by clicking plus here. And currently, or now, the external picture is blank because there is no image specified to be available in the report. There is simple thing. We can choose path to external item, so I can just select here an image in, let's say, JPEG format, and have it here in the report. I can set its size as I please, and I can also embed this picture into the engineering report. This would mean that at this point, before I embed it, it is still linked to the picture in the folder where I have it stored right here. What I can do in this case, I can edit the file. Just simply let me draw a red line here, and if I save the JPEG file, the external picture item in the engineering report will become invalid. So this is a common behavior for all external links or external items that I will speak of today, and it is that it reacts on changing the file, and if connected to the path without the picture being embedded, it would require regeneration. So if I regenerate the image, I get whatever I change in the image. So this is this functionality. If I select embedded, the image will be then stored in the engineering report itself, and if I change the image now again by another drawing into it, this picture is embedded in the document, and it will look as it looked at the time when it was embedded. So external pictures behave this way. There is more to external picture functionality. Not only that we can define its size or rotation. If I want, I can have the image rotated by 90, 180 or 270 degrees. And I can also set alignment. That's quite simple, but I can go further. I can add additional external picture, and this external picture can be, for example, the 3D picture that I have here. It can be also with results. Let me open this one here. I prepared this one before. It's apparently from entirely different projects, and it is an 3D image. So by double clicking on it, I can change the view, and although it's saved as an image and inserted as an image, the view or its view parameters can be altered as it would in the case that it is well, internal snapshot of or image based on snapshot. There is also these are still images. I can also include a drawing in DVG. I have here a DVG DVG file that is stored in my prepared folder, and here I can see content of the DVG file. Here, of course, I can see everything that that is in the file. If I double click, I can, for example, select only part of the image, and I can have it here directly connected to the DVG drawing. The benefit of this would be, or the main benefit is that again, shall the DVG file be saved anew with some changes, the images will get invalid with the red exclamation mark in their top right corner, and after regenerating them in the engineering report, they will contain the most current version of the DVG. I can also, just by means of Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V, copy this external image or any other item in the engineering report, and I can make, in this case, entirely different view. Let's say that I want the plan and the longitudinal section here as well. For this, of course, I would like to have it rotated to better fit the size of the image. Let me zoom some more, and by this I can insert the image right here, and I can change its size as I would like to. So now I have it, let's say, quite zoomed, and I can continue with other parts of the report. Again, this is live link to the DVG. You can see that the reference marks and texts are supported, and also the dimensions. One thing that is particular for DVG format is the DVG color converter, because ordinarily you use in DVG different colors for different layers, and these different layers may correspond to different thicknesses, for example, of certain lines. In this case, I can say that the cyan color here is transferred to black, or I can say it's transferred to blue, and I can also set a different line style or a different line width. If I now hit OK, it gets regenerated, and whatever was in that color that I set in the engineering report, so it's mostly connected to having it in different layers, of course, I have it drawn in a specific color and specific style that of my choosing. So this is for the DVG. Again, DVG files can be embedded into the engineering report, meaning that they will be available for the whole time, even if the DVG they originate from is no longer valid or is even deleted, and these items that are embedded will remain in the engineering report. Further functionality in regarding external pictures is that you can paste an external pictures right from any source. Let's say that I have here image gallery on Google. I can here just copy image. Now it's in my clipboard. Here I click on Ctrl+V, and I have the image right in the engineering report. So this is very simple for very simple inputting of images. I can also make, it depends if you used some print screen capabilities. I can make, for example, print screen at this very point. I can draw anything into my image. I can cut it, and again, this very image can be inputted inside the report as external image. So regarding images, I think I've covered a lot at this point. Let me delete most of the things that I inputted here and continue with automatic generation of results images. For generation of results images, we need to have, let's say, a plain structural image in the engineering report. And so let me insert live image into engineering report as I have it here. Then I can go to results and, for example, ask for internal forces on beams. Here I will make a smaller selection in order to have it quicker. Of course, in cases of other or all other projects, it can be done in a, you can do it for the whole project or sorted by different filters or layers. In this case, I will have advanced selection, name selection I've prepared for the roof here. So here I can see that I have results only for roof. Into the engineering report, I can send the data that I have currently available, and those are the results. So I send table into engineering report. I say insert and close, and in the engineering report, this table of results that I've seen in the 3D scene is available. I can also do the same thing entirely from the engineering report. Again, or important to note, if you search for an item in this available items list, you can just write and it will get sorted for you. So I can insert the same table here by hitting selection, again named selection I set for a roof, and if I go for regenerate, I have exactly the same table. Now I would like to see these internal forces in this image, and I would probably like to generate more images at the same time. Let me first make this image a bit smaller. You can do it by simply select in its properties user-defined size, and here I would like to see it a bit not as high it was before. And for automatically generating of results images, I go for result picture get generator. So I write just RE, and I can input the result picture generator into my report. Here I have an help for me that I need to insert result table, which I have right here, and I have to set, indent also an image in the generator. So I just indent by clicking and dragging the item into under the result picture generator, or in different way you can use the indent button here. It has basically the same effect, and I can indent both those items in here. Result picture generator will then, based on the result table, it will determine what values, in this case internal forces on beams, are available, and I can quickly select several items here. And I can also, in the case of the table, still change, for example, the load case or the other properties, or even the selection of the results. Now, if I go for regenerating, it will be quite fast. I can see the result picture generator created an table of results, and also it took the picture that I inputted, and it draws the internal forces on it in manner that I can see here the normal force as I selected, the shear force, and also bending moments in M and Z, My and Z direction. I can see also that this picture was zoomed out if in terms of the structure that I have in my selection. So again, I can double click. I can zoom in to the structure that I have in the selection, and after regeneration, I will be able to see uh, zoomed results images as I asked in the 3D view. So this can be used for basically any results. It can be 2D results, and you can basically change it by only inputting a single image, meaning that all your images will look the same from the same view with the same setting. So that's the benefit here. If I wanted only to see the images and not the table, and this is also general function, I can basically hide it in the document here by hiding it by the icon of an eye. And here I can see that the result picture generator only generated and is showing only the images themselves. Also, these images in current version contain what we called results info. This is basically item in the picture that states the basic setting or the most basic settings of the results. So it is available, so you can really see what's for which load case and what values are drawn in the images. Similar to result picture generator is the functionality of indenting images under specific items. Not every user is aware of this functionality, so I will demonstrate on two different cases that this is very recommended to use. Here I have multiple load cases, and I want to see my loads in the result in the engineering report. So what I can do, I can simply add this picture in the engineering report. And the second thing that I will do, I will send a nice rendered image in the engineering report as well in exactly the same way. And these two images are now here available. I can now generate automatically this exactly same image for every load case by simply find load cases here, insert it in the engineering report, and indent by drag and drop the image under the load case. This will cause after regeneration that for every load case that I have in the table of the list of load cases, I will get the resulting picture. In this case, the first picture is blank because it's self-weight, but the second picture contains dead load, and the third picture contains live load, and I have also another picture which was the actual image that I inserted. Main benefit of this is again that all the images are consistent in terms of how they look like, and I can edit all of them at the same time from editing only single picture. If I so wish, I can also add tables as intended into the or under the load cases. So I can add, for example, point force or surface force, and it will generate a special table for every available load case that I have in the selection. If I'm don't want to see the self-weight load case here because it's basically empty. It doesn't contain any drawn loads nor any point force or surface loads. I can make it by simple saying that I don't want selection all on all load cases, but I can select a specific load cases. So let's say only load case 2 and 3 in this case. And if I regenerate my document, I will see that load case 2 is generated, and also with corresponding table and with surface force in this case, and the same for the another load case. You can see that the picture here is named by load case for LC4. It only means that this was generated by it was the default name of the image. So better rename it by load, say load visualization. And now when regenerated, then we have the name of chapter that is here available, and we can see that the visualization is under it, so it's corresponding to what we have there. The same can be done with rendered images. In this case, let me go to libraries and insert, for example, a group of layers that I have. I have it basically defined as based on material in this case. But you can also, and most commonly, use the layers based on the height of the floor or any other items. I can again drag and drop this image. Again, if I drag and drop without holding any other key, it gets indented. If I hold also Control, it gets copied under the layers item. And if I run regeneration, for every layer that I selected, I will have special image with the content that or with whatever it contains. I can see here again that the images are quite big in terms of blank space. In this case, I can use a feature here that is automatic scale. So this feature will see whatever is in the image, and it will basically cut out the blank areas. So the view on the image will not be the same, because here I can see zoomed concrete building in this case, and here I can see a zoomed wood or timber structure, and in this case also the steel halls. But I have basically all images are from the same viewpoint, which I can again change as I displayed before. And this is regarding the, or I think this is all that I wanted to show regarding the indented items in the engineering report. Let me exit this particular report and continue with further explanation of external items. For this, I have prepared here a well, quite anonymized structure document, which represent a bit simplified structure, but realistic, and a structure document that was really used as a structural export. And there are some items that are available here, and I will show you in next let's say 15 minutes how to cover all the items that I have here in this document by means of engineering report. So the first thing is that I have here a cover page which contains identification of the building or structure and names of responsible people. We also have special item that is the table of content, and of course we have the header and a footer. Then we have some chapters, some texts that are of course available in this document. We have images we've already talked about images. In this case, if you have image from here, I can just click Ctrl C and Ctrl V in the report. So this is quite covered, I believe. We have some more texts. Now we have combined texts with live images from report. So this is also something that I will speak about. We can also have images not only being a single image on a page width, but we can have also two or multiple images on a page width. And then in the structure document, it is present standard output from the report. Then we have some tables with load specification, which are copied from Excel. And further on, I will switch to the very end here. And then we can have also some entirely external check. In this case, it can be Anchorage check from Hilti, which has a standard export in PDF. And in this case, it's copied as a snapshot into the report. Additionally, if you so do, or if you use any your own checks, in this case, here are inserted checks of handmade concrete design, which is very simplified for simplified use. I will also show you how you can input live Excel sheets into the engineering report as it is possible in as Ole object in Word. So let's get to it. If I open engineering report and I again start new one. Oh, I now have it. Okay, sorry for that. So I created a new one. Let's go right into it. And I can go again into most of the things that I've talked about are in the tab of external items. External picture I covered. Let's continue with adding external PDF or two. In this case, I can again, or I should go to the path of the document. And in this case, I have prepared here the, this is the cover page. So let's open this document. It is quite large. It contains very large amount of pages. However, I want to use only the first one. So I can here select that I don't want to import all images. I want to have from page 1 to page 1. And in this case, I would also see that it is not a fit to page, but I want to see it stretched, because fit to page will actually do exactly what you see here. You can see that margins of the page are kept in the report. So the image or the table here is actually smaller. What I can do is I can say, okay, I want here the original PDF, and after regeneration, I can see that I have it on the second page, and that's because I have here the name of the item, which I can hide by saying I don't want caption to be visible. And now I have this first cover right in the engineering report, stretched throughout the whole page width. The second external PDF I will get to later. Let's continue with special items and header and footer, to be specific. So header and footer is defined from the page that it's inputted in, and in general settings we have quite a lot of information stored in here, and the sole reason is that you can see all the capabilities. I can zoom here in the preview window by hitting Ctrl and scrolling my mouse wheel, and here I can see that there is a lot of information. In my document here, there is not much here available. Basically, this all is just text, and the only dynamic function that is here is the page number that Word allows us to use. In engineering report, or in a header in engineering report, we have a bit more complex approach that allows you to import any of these available items that are dynamically linked to whatever is in your project, starting with having the project name and author and date, settings of national annexes, or even license name and license number in the header. Also, you can have images or inserted here as external item. Of course, this is quite a robust solution, which not every time is necessary. You can select all that you want here to be present in the header, and or you can use as less as you please as well. The header is combined out of tables, as we can see here, or separate pictures or text fields. In this form, each table is composed of separate properties that can be deleted or added in the table, and each table can have different position. So in this case, the first table is the table with part, author, and date, and it is the first. This is the first table right here in the middle. Having the header stretched throughout several tables is favorable or very useful if you have different types of pages. I will show you later on that, or I can show you, or I will show you later on that having to, let's say, flip the page from portrait to landscape view will still keep this this part in the middle without regard to how wide the page actually is. This is a quite important feature that is made by this parameter here, the anchor. You can either move the images by absolute values. Let's say in this case that I can hit 100 here, and it will move back there. So let me go to -20 again. But this table is anchored to 50% of the width of the header. It is also aligned left. So if I can also here say, okay, I want 0 here in the middle. So this line is in the middle of the field, but I can also say I want it to be on center, so aligned like this. So you are able to play with these settings however you please. In terms of my simplified projects, I don't basically need all these tables here. So first, I can delete specific items from a table like this. You can see that the item date was really removed here from the header, or I can delete the entire table. I can delete the picture and basically everything else. And what I can do, if I just want something very simple, same as I have here, I can basically do it like this. I can just Control-C here. I can add text. I can input it by Control-V into the editor. Let's just delete this stuff here. And I have it inputted right here. Of course, the text has its width properties, and I have longer text here, so I extended this. So I set it to, let's say, 150. I wanted to have it anchored on the left, and I can see I inputted by mistake another blank line. So I can go for editor and delete this empty lines or whatever I don't want there. So now it looks like this. I can do the same for the for the left side, so I can add another text that would be also copied from here. Okay, let's do it like this. So I want this to be as I have it here. I can have it like this. The page number I would like to make dynamic, so of course I have different page number for different position. I can hit OK, and I can say I want to anchor this field on the right side, and also I want it aligned to the right. Again, I can now add table, and in the table I would like to have the page number. This I would like to get aligned also to right, and anchored at the end. Here I don't want to see the page number text as I do now, so I can say that only value is to be shown, and I want it to be quite below, so I can just say vertical alignment to set it to -, or to 7, or any other value like 5. And apparently it is better to play with it a bit more. I'm getting a bit not to stretch the time further. I will leave it as it is, but it might be very simple. Let's put a few spaces here, or move this entire formatted table horizontally by -5 pixels, and this one to 4. And now let's say my header is clean. I can do one more thing that I have here in my Word. I want this part of the text to be blue and bold, and I can do that in the editor by here having it bold, and also by having it blue. Here I have the direct preview, so I can do it like this. I can now also see that my header is quite wide, so I can change the height of my header to reasonable value, and of course I can put this boundary away. Let's say that the top, I don't want anything there, so now it looks very similar to what I have. Let me continue with footer. Footer, I will not go into much detail because the footer is basically exactly the same settings as in case of the header. In this case, what I would do, but it is because it's very simple. Here in footer, for example, I have only text, so I will add text, and that would be the only field that I would have here. Let me now hit with OK, and now my header is as I wanted. Further, I would like to say something about styles, which is another special item here. I can say or I can set exactly the same styles as I can do in the Word itself. You can see that in Word I have here preset styles of simple items. I can do the same here. I can select style, and by editing it I can choose from default templates that are embedded, or define my own entirely by setting for each item, or let's say chapter levels. I can make them bigger if I so want, and this will be applied for the rest of the document since the style is indented. So let me select template instead, let's select a green template. I hit OK. To see how it behaves, let's input two very same tables. If I move this one up, I can see that this load case is above the style setting, so it has the style of default, and this other has the style of whatever I inputted in the style definition. Most common would be to put the style definition right on top of the report. So that would be for header and styles. Let's talk more about external Excel and external PDFs. Just I also shown that external PDF for this use case that we can use as a cover page. We can also add, for example, the external PDF in its whole content. Let me add external PDFs here, and again browse for a field. I have here the external check for the Hilti anchor, and I can see that the entire PDF is just inputted as it is. Again, if I update the PDF by new version, it can be regenerated, and the new version of the PDF will be added. Regarding Excel file or Excel sheets, we have possibility of adding live link to Excel right here. So let me add one. I prepared an Excel sheet in for this webinar. So let me insert it into the engineering report. Now let's say wait for the regeneration, because the Excel file contains number of files, and as set as general, it will just import a whole spreadsheet as it's set. We can hit edit here or double click the item to be able to work with this further. So here I have single worksheets that are available in the Excel file, and you can see that the default setting is that all used cells are presented. In this case, that's not very lovely, because I want, for example, to have them sorted by pages. So let me at this point delete all presentations, and for instance, I have set my loads. As you can see here, I've set the printable area and also set with the page breaks. So here I transferred my Excel sheets to for this feature to use print like presentation, which is basically the same that would happen if you print your Excel file with the printing settings and end of lines. And I want to fit it into the page. I can select different sizes. Let's say go for user defined, and I want it to have width of 150 millimeters. So let's hit OK here. And after quick regeneration, I can see that in this case, it's the specification of loading. I have it separated by pages that I defined in the Excel, and again, this is the live link, meaning that if I change anything in the concrete table, I will get the external Excel file invalidated, and I will have to refresh it in order to have it up to date again. What I can also do, but that's something that is basically print screening, and that is one more remark for external pictures, is I can make here a selection of the check that I have here. I can hit Ctrl+C or copy it So I have now it into my clipboard. If I go now into the engineering report, I can just hit Ctrl V and it is automatically included as an image. So I can now here set width and height, and I have this check as a picture in my uh, report. So rather use live Excel link or this only for occasional use. Further, as I mentioned, or as you often use in the structure report, we have support for external text files, meaning that you can just input external text file, and by double clicking on it, or you can you can select text file that is full of some texts which will be translated as chapters. I don't think this is too useful, so let's let's continue with the formatted text, which is a special item that allows you in general to write text in directly in engineering report. By double clicking on it, you can write whatever you want, or you can insert blocks of text from whatever source. You can, let me just here Control C some text. I can put it here. I hit OK, and I have text chapter here available in the report. If I double click it, I can edit the text as I would in Word. Furthermore, if you have in clipboard this text, as I do have now because I hit Control C in the browser, I can just Control V or paste it as text right away. So text is recognized as text. Same was that the Excel in the clipboard was recognized as image, because we can't import or include Excel in this manner. But you can input a text in just by clicking Ctrl V, and that's basically it. So you can compose your structure document also with text very easily, or not as difficult as you might have thought it would be. Additional chapter that I would cover, we are now reaching to our end, is the table of content. Table of content is no big difference. It works basically as you would expect, but there is a last very important part, and that is that you can make a live link between reports, because in this case I have a very simple report, but if you have hundreds of pages of free reports, it is often prudent to divide it into several specific reports. As I have, for example, here. I have here a report for structure, some results for loading, and also some loads and results in another document. What I can do in every single document that I have prepared, like here, right in this manner, I can go for the report navigator, and I can export this document or this engineering report as report. So I do that. Yeah, let me name it like year 1, never mind. And now the report is available in the folder that I placed it in. I see it right here in the DDS format. What I can further do is that I can link this report to have it automatically updated when the report is externally regenerated, let's say after the calculation. So I can set here, export this to report, and use this one. I have a different there. This would do that when it's updated, it will update the template itself. The main usage for this is then that I can go into my very simple report, and what I can do is I can add, in this case, 3 external reports that I've prepared for this. First would be the structure. Second would be load results. And the third would be, let's say, 3D displacement. And I can see that now I have all 3 reports that I've prepared in this very same engineering report all together. Benefit of this would be that I have the header, style settings, and also I have the table of content, which is then composed from everything that was contained in all of these reports. If I shall now go, let's say, for a structure, which is one of the reports that I've included, and here let's include one additional image. Let me regenerate the report. I can close it now, and I have to regenerate it here. This regeneration actually creates the updated report, and here in my main report, when this thing is done, I shall have the report to get invalidated because the change would be, I'm not sure if I select the right one, but by this means the report will be changed, and oh, it's the structure. So, but yeah, sorry, I try to have different one. So I regenerate this one because that's the one that I updated. And after short regeneration, I should be able to see the content, and it should also regenerate the item in the external file, which would lead to me having in this report the overall content of everything that I've prepared in separate reports. In this report, let's call it final, I can export after external regeneration in PDF. I can also select path to this PDF, and currently with this setting, and this would be the last thing that I will share with you, would be that if I, for example, run analysis together with engineering report regeneration, this would cause that all the engineering reports will get regenerated. They will get also updated into the main report, and when this all is done, the main report would be saved as PDF right in the folder where you set the PDF export should appear. So this is basically the workflow. So I think if I should conclude this webinar session, I've talked about the images, the types of images that we have in engineering report. We also covered some internal engineering report functionality, such as header and footer, styles, and intended capabilities and result picture generator. And also we've covered the external images, PDFs, Excel sheets, and also the utilization of external reports, which would allow you to divide reports into multiple while having them still at one place. This would be helpful. One more use case would be that if 2 different structure engineers work on the same report, they might be one steel engineer, one concrete engineer, they might be able to work with the same ESA file in an each of them have their own report, which might be then combined automatically in Engineering Report by its own internal capabilities. So this would be all from this webinar, all that I wanted to share with you. I thank you for your attendance and for signing up for this webinar. I ask you that if you can rate this webinar, or shall you have any remarks that to contact us with them. We will do best to provide improvements or any feedback that would be necessary for you to improve your skills or your workflow with the Engineering Report. So thank you, and have a nice rest of the afternoon.